Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. So I am here to show you my finished lady skater dress by Kitschy Coo patterns, aka the alpaca frock. This dress has had so much love on social media over the last couple of days, so thank you to all of you who've liked my posts on Instagram and Facebook. I've had some of the highest social media reaches on my Facebook page, and ironically the picture that I shared was me leaning up into the sky sorting out my clematis above my front door, which my husband just snapped while he was taking some pictures of me in the dress. But needless to say, I absolutely love this dress. It is so comfortable, it fits beautifully, and it was an absolute dream to sew up. So I'll take you through some of the steps of making this dress. So firstly, the dress is by Kitschy Coo patterns and it's called the Lady Skater dress, and there are three variations. There is a short cap sleeve, a 3/4 length sleeve and a long sleeve. Now they do also do a children's version, and I have purchased and downloaded that pattern too, so watch this space because needless to say I will be making more of these for my little mini me in the future. Now everybody says that the lady skater is super easy to sew up and super quick, and it really is. I cut out all my pieces at work on the Tuesday, and then I came home and on the Wednesday I sewed it together. Now I used a combination of my overlocker and my regular sewing machine, and it took me 3 hours. Now that was with me really taking my time, reading the pattern, making sure that I read and understood every single bit of the instructions, taking it really slowly and not using my dressmaker head and just ploughing on in there with what I thought I should be doing. So I did try and behave myself, and I'm very glad I did, because the finished item is wonderful. Now a few pointers: it is a PDF pattern. I personally normally avoid PDF patterns like the plague because I really don't like sticking them all together, and I also find it uses an awful lot of ink. However, this pattern is only available as a PDF pattern, so I bit the bullet and I did stick it all together. But what I did, rather than cutting it out of my stuck together pattern, I then traced off the pattern pieces that I needed to make the version that I wanted to make. Mainly because I didn't want to have to print it all off and stick it together again if I decided I wanted to make it in a different size. Because for me, sizing was a little bit of an issue. So I'm going to refer to the pattern here so that I can talk you through my sizing choices. Now the lady skater dress, the sizing is based on your upper bust, your high bust, and what's called your upper waist, which is actually, in my eyes, my waist measurement, so the narrowest part of you. Obviously slightly higher than where people assume your waist is, but from a dressmaker's point of view, the natural waist. So I measured myself. My waist is a 32 and my bust is a 36, but I couldn't find anywhere that I would fit on the scale. The size 4 would have been too small, the size 6 would have been too big, and potentially the size 5 would have been too big too. But I decided that I wasn't going to try and scale it all down because there was only ½ an inch in it. So what I decided in the end was to go with the size 5, which is a 37-inch high bust and a 31-inch high waist. So I kind of fall into the middle of that. But I figured that because the seam allowances are only 3/8 of an inch, I could always up those seam allowances if need be and nip it in down the side seams if there was any problems. And I'm really pleased that I went with that option, because as it happens, the dress fits perfectly. Had I gone for the size 4, it would have been far too small. So the instructions are really clear. They do in fact tell you and recommend that you make a toile of this dress before you cut into your perfect fabric. But obviously, me being me, I am far too lazy to do that. I took a chance and thankfully my chance paid off. But do bear that in mind if you are planning on making this dress for yourself. So let me show you some of the dress in more detail. So, firstly, can we just have a little bit of appreciation for this neckline? Not only is it very, very, very equal, it sits beautifully flat. You can see it doesn't gape, it doesn't flap, and it is really nicely top stitched. Now, the top stitch is the one area that I didn't read the pattern properly. Had I done so, then I would have put the length of my stitch up to 3. I didn't do that. I kept it at 2.5, and so it is quite tight, and it doesn't look as neat as it could do. But I did bear that in mind later on down the line when it came to top stitching the other areas of the garment, and I did turn it up to 3, and I can assure you it makes a massive difference. So the areas that I did that were in the cuffs here. You can see there's a lovely little sleeve band, which I think gives a really nice finishing touch. So many jersey garments just ask you to turn under, and I think that can look ugly and flick out. So having that little sleeve band is really, really a nice finishing touch. Waistline is quite low really, considering that the garment is measured on your upper waist. I'm not sure, but I think I might raise it a little bit if I made another one. But I don't know. It's extremely flattering on the front, but because my bottom does stick out quite a bit, I do get a little bit of a ruck here. But if the waistline was slightly higher, I don't think I'd get that. But you can see, here's its full length, so it's super twirly, which is really, really lovely. And I did use the twin needle on the hem at the bottom. Don't know if we can get that to focus. For a nice, neat finish. So there we have it. The Lady Skater dress. Overall, I am giving this 10 out of 10. Thumbs up. Absolutely love it. I can see loads more of these on the cards. The lovely Kitschy Coo patterns have given me permission to teach this pattern, so if you are interested in having your hand held and you want to make your own version and you live in Essex, then do get in touch and we'll get some classes on soon for you. So if you want to go and make a lady skater dress, please do. It's highly recommended from Beautiful Things. And I will see you again soon with another sewing and pattern review.